Welcome back, everybody, to another podcast. This week we have less things in store for you just because, number one, we're tired. We're recording on a
We are
Sunday this time. We skipped the last 2 days. It's crazy. It's been a crazy week. Um, and not much has gone on this week as far as I can tell. Looking through my YouTube recommended to see, recommended and history to see what I watched this week, and it's like, what did I watch this week? Not much. So, I guess to start, Nelson, how has your week been so far?
uh I guess uneventful. I guess that's the best way of putting it. I can't really recall or recap exactly what's been happening this past week, and that's probably a good thing, I would say. I think that would be for the best. I don't remember what happened. I don't really want to know exactly what happened. I it's just which probably is honestly a good thing, I would say, because I mean, I would rather it, I guess, be like this than, I guess, nothing new or substantial or out of the ordinary. But I don't know. I'm here and I'm on this podcast with you, of course, and we're just probably gonna chat and maybe get off topic here and there. And I mean, honestly, that's what I look forward to because all I know is that even though we kept pushing the date back till it's Sunday, by the way, for those who are curious, we're recording this on a Sunday. Um, Yeah, we've just been either deprived of sleep, we really don't have the energy to get on and
Yeah.
record, and I didn't even have time to actually capture gameplay because I've been just so out of tune with a lot of stuff, especially for this past week. I'm trying to remember what happened on my last 2 days off. Trying to remember, but because that's usually the time when I record a lot of gameplay, and I didn't have any this time around, so I don't know. Um, I it's been this week, I guess. Like I said, it's been uneventful. It could be better, could be worse.
Yeah, I guess no news is
I
good
mean,
news, huh?
only type of news, and I'm not going to talk about it all that much. Not a great day at work, I guess, at least by my definition, not a great day, but it's over. That's all that matters. Only thing I will say is that we my boss had like set boundaries for me, and she's like, okay, I want you to abide by these, that way it'll, you know, and we can see if it works for you. It was working until people started to ignore the rules and everything and started bending and twisting them, and that's when I got salty, but I'll leave it at that. It
Yeah.
may sound broad, but it's just work is work. I'm home, that's all that matters. It's over, thankfully. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
I'm just
goodness.
yeah. But how's it been for you for this past week?
Um, okay. I'll sum it up by what happened to me yesterday.
Okay.
Um, Yesterday I went to work early in the morning. This was Saturday. And I I almost never get migraines. Almost never. But
Oh no.
I think it usually happens because of a combination of things. I get hit weird by the sun, and it's never just the sun that's the problem. Usually, I'm like really stressed out, or I've got a lot going
Dehydrated.
on, too much to keep track of, or I'm really trying to remember a lot of things, or all of those together. So, yeah, I got a migraine while I was at work. So I really couldn't see very much, and I was kind of slow in the head. I wasn't able to communicate as well as I would have liked to. Um, but I made it through. I had to call my dad to pick me up from work because I couldn't drive. I couldn't see, so I couldn't drive. Um, but I'm happy that it happened. Like there were like 30 minutes left uh, for me to work, and I'm happy that it kind of happened around there instead of at the beginning. It's just one of those things. But the fact that I got it kind of made me think back to what happened this week. Like I had my first calculus exam, so there were 3 months of material worth to remember, and it's you know it's like there are 5 or 6 categories of things to remember, and then each category has a bunch of different items in it. So it was too much for me to remember realistically, and even though I studied 2 hours before the exam, it just wasn't. It wasn't going to be perfect.
It wasn't
Um,
gonna pay off.
yeah, I mean, I do think studying was helpful because I did a bunch of practice. That's how I study. I just do practice problems, redo problems that I've done before. Uh, and when it comes to memorizing things, I memorize best when I'm writing the same thing over and over and over again. I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to do more of that. Uh, but overall, I think I did fairly decently on the exam. I expect an 80%, which is above what I was shooting for. I was shooting for a 75. So,
I wish I had your confidence.
I mean, there were only 5 problems. He couldn't squeeze all the material into a 50-minute exam session.
Yeah.
So, we were going to be limited by what we were required to do anyway, but it's still, we still had to remember everything. It didn't fix that. It was just a little easier, and I was pretty lucky actually. The first question that was on the exam was one of the formulas I was struggling to remember, but the 5 minutes before the exam, I was repeating that under my breath over and over again. And so I do think I got that question correct. Um, but yeah, I just kind of an overflow this week. We're reaching that point where it's like, okay, I'm ready for a break. I'm ready for spring break for that week
Do
off.
you guys actually get a spring break at all or no?
Yes, we get whew, it's a it's a Saturday through a Saturday, no, through a Sunday, I think. Saturday through a Sunday. So what is that? 7, 8, 9 days, I think. So it's a pretty decent chunk of time, but I'm going to have to do some homework during that time, and it's gonna suck. And then this
They
upcoming
took
week, there's a
advantage
lot.
of that
Yeah,
and they give you homework for on break and it's like, guys, it's called a break for a reason. You gotta let
right.
them rest their minds and
Yeah,
do something else. Yeah. We never got that
I
for
know.
which
Yeah,
really
but
just
you
the
guys got out
burnout was
earlier, right?
we did,
But
but
it's
like a
still
whole
good to have.
month or two. But we got like I would say for us at least some of the worst burnouts possible.
Yeah, yeah.
And what
That's
was
it's
it?
kind of
Some
hitting
of
me
our
already, and we're like just over halfway through the semester.
what was it? Some of our professors, I remember my stats professor, she was like, "Take it easy. We're in the middle of the semester now. Just try to give yourself a little bit of like leisure for the week." And she like purposely what would you say downgraded like the workload for us because she could tell we were just exhausted
Yeah,
by the constant like new concepts every single week and that made sense it was a fast-paced class but yeah.
yeah. On Tuesday of this upcoming week, I'm gonna have a lot to do. So it's been a real struggle more this semester than any other semester to keep up with the work. Um, it's all at home work that I'm struggling to keep up with. Like if I want to get what I'm shooting for, which is A's, it's gonna suck. Like if I got a C in the class, that would mean I'm not doing the homework. I'm just not. I'm not doing the work that I'm supposed to do at home.
Well, aren't you actually doing the you are technically, it's just that you're passing by.
Yeah.
No?
What do you mean? Just passing by? What?
Well, I mean, you're doing the homework. It's just that you're not putting as much, not giving it your 100% like you would normally. Like
Yeah. Right now
you're
I'm
setting
trying
your
to min
standards
max.
below the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Oh, I
I
did that in
still
my
have to
last
complete
semester.
the
I got
homework
away with
though.
it. I
It's
got away with it easily.
yeah. I might be going a little overboard in my calculus class doing, but the problem is the grading system is difficult to gauge. I don't know. I'll know better where I am after the grades come in for this exam, but the way the class is structured, like I said, I can get 150% in the class, but it's hard to know if I'm at like a C or if I'm near like 110%. I don't know until the exam scores come in. So,
I'm sure you did fine.
yeah, I mean, if so, my projection is if I get 75% on everything on the in-class portion, so that's quizzes and exams, I can get 106% in the class, which is way overboard. Like I don't need 106%. But really that's just 16% insurance to make sure that I don't get a B because I want an A. I'd like straight A's, but um I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm probably overdoing it. It's just hard to know. And that's always, difficult to gauge, but I suppose this semester will give me a good idea of how to pace myself with stuff like this.
Do you feel like you're working towards something at all or no? Do you still feel that or no?
What do you mean working towards something like
Oh, I mean, towards your degree, do you still feel that motivation to work towards it, even during classes like that?
um
Because I remember, what was it, last semester, you were
yeah.
telling me that it was just such a struggle for you, especially like you were having trouble finding the actual motivation to push onwards and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
You doing
the
better or
the
no?
degree so the degree has never been in question. It's mostly been the coursework. Like I've min-maxed some classes to the extremes. Like I've done the minimum absolute work to get A's in some of my classes. Which has meant neglecting several assignments, or like I had one assignment where I was supposed to do this massive essay, and I did like most of the essay, got it done, but I didn't proofread it. Like this is the min maxing part. Like I got it in, I didn't proofread it, I didn't do the bibliography because I didn't want to, and I still got an A in the class because I did all the calculations and I figured out how much I would need from this one assignment. So that sort of stuff is what I'm ending up doing because it's just so painful to get through some of the coursework, and it doesn't make any sense to pursue the highest level of excellence, even though, like, in a perfect world, that's probably what I would do. I don't know. But yes, the motivation to pursue my degree is there. There's because
Yeah.
without it, for me there's no direction. There's no sense of direction. Like you have your work that's kind of giving you an idea of what you'd like to go into with trades and stuff. And you have learned, I would say, quite a bit from what you're doing there. For me, at my work, it's more like a side hustle, and it's like stuff that could help me when I'm, doing stuff at my
But it's
house
not
when
what
I'm
you want to
older.
do.
Say again?
But it's not what you want to do for a living.
No, not even close. I don't like landscaping and repairing sprinklers. That's not what I enjoy doing at all. Like it's not fun to me. Um, I've done several assignments in school that I have like legitimately enjoyed. So I can see that I can see my degree paving a path to a job that I would enjoy doing. Uh, I don't know what job that is, but we'll see. I I'm right now it is my only pathway that I am willing to pursue. I'm like there's no other option for me in my mind. So it's especially since I'm a second semester junior. Like I only have a year left to go to get my bachelor's. So it wouldn't make like that would be a lot of money wasted if I didn't continue to pursue. I guess
Yeah.
that's sunk cost fallacy, but I don't know. Um, so yeah, that's me.
That's me.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, that's been, yeah. I mean, I got
stressful,
nothing
but
else to say.
I
Yeah.
probably I'm probably overdoing it anyway, so it's kind of my fault.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
It'll work out in the end for you. It'll
yeah.
be just fine.
So, the first thing I have to talk about is right here. I'm going to reshare my screen with you. Let's see if I stop and share and this and go live and boom. Okay, that took a long time. So, this is
Ooh,
a Windows Central article, and they have some information on Xbox handhelds.
interesting.
What I've heard mostly from YouTube, and that they have used this article as their reference, is that we are going to see by the end of this year an Xbox branded handheld that will be kind of like, I guess it's going to be like the Asus ROG Ally.
Okay.
It's going to run Windows. It'll have the Xbox app at the front of the system. So that's going to be, and there's going to be tighter integration with that. It'll be an Xbox style machine, so it won't just look like an ROG Ally. It'll look like an Xbox product. But essentially, it's going to be an ROG Ally. That's what
Is
we're
it gonna
going
have
to
the
see by the
same
end of this
hardware
year.
as an ROG Ally or what?
What'd you say?
Is it gonna have the same hardware as the ROG Ally or no?
That would be my expectation, but I do not know for sure.
So it's just them taking an ROG Ally and just slapping the Xbox logo and the Xbox app on it.
That's what it sounds like.
That's kind of a low bar for me,
Yeah.
to be honest. I thought they were gonna like go all out and make
So the plan
a
is that next year or the year after, we're going to see an actual Xbox handheld that can actually play your Xbox games natively. I assume
well,
that'll come out when the next console comes out, like the next console
is this
generation.
gonna be like a streaming or
No, I think it'll be a legit handheld.
native
Yeah,
native handheld?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure there'll be something interesting that they can throw at it, but I just view that as a gimmick and not like something really worth
So, my opinion
buying.
on this is it's kind of lame.
It's kind of to compete with the Switch. That's what I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
It seems so last minute.
yeah, it seems kind of thrown together. Um, I would, maybe I would purchase one of these over an ROG Ally because you kind of want that partnership with Xbox, especially if you're wanting to actually play Xbox games on your device. But uh, I could see, depending on how much they actually do to modify the ROG Ally, um, I could see it actually being pretty decent device. Um,
Yeah.
no idea what the price is going to be on something like this. Like the ROG, isn't the ROG Ally over 1,000?
I thought I was under 1,000. I
Is it
thought it
like
was like
800 or something?
700, $800. You can buy the
Yeah,
first generation for like 400, I think.
yeah. Okay. So that's not too bad. I suppose if they got the price down that low, like Steam Deck competitive.
I wonder if it'll be more powerful than the Steam Deck. I can imagine it would.
Oh yeah, for sure. I could see it being more powerful than Steam Deck.
What about the Switch? That's the question. As I yawn. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be more like a PC handheld. The Switch is going to be more like, I don't know, on par with the Steam Deck, I would say. Like the Steam
Yeah.
Deck is one of the less powerful PC handhelds.
Well, I think the new Switch is going to be more powerful than the Steam Deck because
Yeah,
it had that one. What is it? The equivalent to an RTX 3050 or a 3060 or something like that graphics card. It's
yeah,
some
that
type
sounds right.
of NVIDIA,
Yeah, 30
like,
series card I think was the
yeah.
benchmark, yeah. But I don't know. This could be a good device. We'll have to see. It could be like a complete flop, but I suppose it would be a good like start, to get Xbox into the PC handheld or the just the handheld gaming in general space. If they can generate things like emulators for Xbox One and the 360 that would run on this thing, that would be really solid because then you could just have you know, your Xbox library and it actually runs on the device. It's not actually native, it's just running on an emulator, but uh, we've seen recently that emulation can be really powerful. Like people are starting to emulate uh, the 360 and they're getting a lot out of that. So I could see this being pretty good. But I don't want to get my hopes up too high, especially since this is more like their transition console.
My expectations for this are low.
Yeah.
They are very low. I don't
My
mean to be a
expectations are
Debbie
low, but I
Downer, but
hope they're exceeded.
I hope they're exceeded too. I really do.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing an emulation thing, I would much rather prefer native rather than emulation. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I guess that would
only one way to
mean
find out.
they would have to they would have to like shrink the Xbox hardware down, put it in a handheld and figure out how to run Windows on the Xbox hardware. But really, like I don't even care that much if you have Steam on a device like that. Like if they just had your Xbox games and you could play them on that, a handheld, that'd be fine with me. And
Well, didn't
especially if you're
they
playing
say
them natively.
weren't they working with Valve or something to actually bring a lot of their Xbox titles to Steam or no? Well, I mean, they're doing that right now, of course, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, a lot of the big AAA titles, like, I'm gonna say it. I say it every single episode. For gosh sakes, Nelson, you gotta drop it. To do an episode without even saying it. Call of Duty. I wonder if they'll actually ever even bother bringing that to Valve OS and or Steam OS. I don't know if they ever will, but
Yeah.
I have high doubts, but
It'd be
I
nice.
would like to be
Like they
wrong.
don't
I
they don't
really would.
have Xbox like on Steam Deck. You cannot play on an Xbox app. You can't even stream. Like it just doesn't exist. Um it would be nice if they had like an official Xbox app on Steam. That'd be good that you could use.
As a way to, okay, they have this app downloaded. That means that the anti-cheat will work and they can play on their console if they'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
would
I would
still be
like that.
like a PS Portal situation if that was the case, but it's better than nothing. Because right now the only way to really play your Xbox games elsewhere
Okay.
is
Yeah,
with a controller and a tablet or something.
worst case scenario, it's a PlayStation Portal
Yeah.
for this new console
And to be
especially.
fair, those are getting a lot of praise as of late. Like people
Stop
do
it.
really like their portals.
That's dumb. It's a stupid console. It's a stupid idea. It's the dumbest design I've
If it
ever
works
seen.
well, I could see it being pretty good.
I will rip on it as much as I can. People who are applauding that thing, it's garbage. It's actual trash.
Well, I
It's one
would
of the
say
worst.
especially for the price, it's not a good console.
I would rather buy a Wii U than use that thing. I would rather.
The
I'd
Wii U
rather
is pretty
buy
good
a
actually.
I'd rather buy like a Sega Genesis or something like that. Whatever a Sega console failed miserably, or the Atari 2800 or whatever it was,
Mhm.
3600. I don't remember what it was. One of those failed consoles, forgotten consoles.
Yeah.
Um, I'd rather buy a Sega Dreamcast, I think that's what it was,
Oh yeah.
than use a PlayStation Portal. It's the dumbest design I've ever seen. They took a DualShock 5 controller, split it in half, slapped a 1080p screen on it at 60 hertz. Oh, it
Good
doesn't
luck
play
if you get
anything
stick
native.
drift.
You gotta stream it. Yeah, good luck if you get. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, 'cause if you do, you're toast. What
Yeah.
exactly are you gonna do? Take it apart?
And you'd
Oh,
have to
well, then
send
you
it
risk
in.
the. Yeah, exactly. Only to find out, it's missing. It's not under warranty. Well, I guess I better go buy another one. It's
Yeah.
the dumbest console I've seen of all. It's stupid. I don't care what anybody says. It's I remember when that first got revealed, it got such negativity
Yeah.
for online. It got such negative like feedback, and I thought, yeah, well deserved, because all they did was they
I mean,
just
it's
took a
better than the
DualShock 5
Logitech
and
handheld.
I'd rather have the Logitech than that.
Really?
Yes.
No. No.
Yeah.
No, cuz
Yeah.
the Logitech doesn't
Yeah.
even work well.
Yeah, but it plays native.
No, it doesn't.
Does it?
No,
Or I'm thinking of a
it's a
different
PS
one.
Portal. It's basically a PS Portal but for PC.
Okay, well, even then, I would much rather. It's still so stupid. I don't care.
uh,
It's
well,
the worst design that PlayStation has ever put out, and the fact that people actually praise that garbage is. It's not even an Xbox fan. I'm not an Xbox fanboy. I own both. I play both. It's right here. I like it's so stupid. It's such a dumb design.
wait for
Did
it.
you get a Steam Deck OLED or what?
No, wait for it. And uh-oh.
Oh, you got so sick and tired of Steam OS. Did you dual
uh,
boot? Did
what?
you dual boot?
No.
What'd you do?
I just straight up downloaded Windows and that's it.
How is it?
It sucks.
Well, I kind of expected that, but
So yes, I downloaded Windows on my Steam Deck, and there's a reason for that. I cannot play the anti-cheat games on my Steam Deck, and I want to. And that's the only reason, that's one of the only reasons I bought a Steam Deck in the first place is cuz I wanted to play uh some of the online multiplayer games that I like playing a lot. So like Garden Warfare 2, which is what you guys are watching right now. But you can't play Garden Warfare 2 anymore. You could for like, I don't know, 5 days or something. Uh, and it was glorious and it worked perfectly. But now you can't.
you could stream it. But I hope you like that high compression,
Stream
that
it.
high video compression.
Oh, stream it like with the Steam Steam Link.
whatever it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It
bad.
sucked. It's
It did
bad.
suck. Yeah, just like the PS Portal.
Yeah. I mean, even if you have a LAN connection with your PC or whatever, it's not going to work very well because this you're kind of limited by Wi-Fi anyway with your Steam Deck. So it never turns out very good. But
Speaking of portable gaming, I'll bring this up. I got one of these.
oh, a Backbone, cool.
Yeah, it's actually nice. I like it. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Mobile on it, so
Is it comfortable?
it's good. Oh yeah, it's not that. I mean, this is how I hold it, like a alien. I hold it like an alien, like you
Yeah.
can see my two fingers right here.
Uh-huh.
But I actually like it. It's got its own little home app and everything, and I mean, this is the USB-C version, and this for some reason is so hard to find.
Is it
Voice crack.
expensive?
Oh my goodness. I paid $100 for it.
That's
Was it worth
awful.
$100? Was it worth $100? Absolutely not. But, and this is a big but, the user experience is pretty nice. So I'm not gonna lie to myself. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good little handheld portable uh controller.
Wow.
It's a lot better than connecting like your Xbox Bluetooth controller and then just having your phone screen up and then playing like this. I like it where it's like the Switch. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it fits in a nice spot on the phone, so that's good. Yeah,
My
I don't
only
know. I
concern is the adapter breaking and that's it.
This is heresy, and we all know that. Like if
No,
you
it's not.
Linux gamers hate Windows like seriously really badly. And
Valve wanted you to customize it to your liking.
yeah, that's true. They wouldn't provide the drivers if they didn't want you downloading Windows on it. Uh, I mean, okay, downloading Windows on it wasn't that bad of a process. It was really slow. Um, and I wish I had a larger NVMe drive in this. You know, now that I've downloaded Windows on it, I'm relying heavily on the SD card to, you know, hold all the stuff that's not just Windows. And that means
Yeah.
that everything is very slow. So launching games is super slow. Ooh. The nice thing about that too is like the iPhone has a really nice screen as well.
It does. Playing Minecraft on this thing is actually nice too. The controls feel good.
Yeah.
But I think this uses the exact same analog sticks as the Nintendo Switch.
Oh.
They look exact by design, they look the exact same. So I'm wondering if I eventually get stick drift, I wonder if I can just go on Amazon and buy those Ghoulie Kit Hall Effect sticks like I did for the Joy-Cons
Yeah.
and just slap them on here and see if it works.
Yeah.
I bet it will. I bet you it will.
Okay. So one thing I've noticed about Windows on here is it runs better than SteamOS did. And maybe that's because like SteamOS my installation was kind of garbage, but I think so. It boots up faster, first of all, which is nice. I don't know why it does that. Um,
It doesn't like you.
I know the SteamOS booted up so slow. It was weird. Also, I can play Garden Warfare 2. It's like all I want. I
Can you
can,
play it at 60?
yes, I can play it at
Oh,
80.
80.
Yeah.
Wow.
When you're not running through compatibility layers, it's like, oh, this hardware can
Impressive.
actually run this game.
Very nice.
One
Let's
game
see
that I
how
cannot run, and I think this is because of the SD card, is Battlefront 2. Uh,
why.
I think the SD card is too slow. It can't load all of the assets
Well,
quickly
can't you
enough.
just lower the graphical fidelity? You have to download drivers. I know that on Windows.
Yeah,
Graphical drivers.
I did that. I have all the drivers, otherwise it wouldn't work. But yeah,
I mean,
that looks pretty nice. Yeah,
in terms of latency, it's not bad. It's good. Good
yeah.
input latency. There's no dead zone settings, however. You can't really,
Oh,
there's
really?
no, yeah, but that's all right. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, it seems like everything works on Windows on Steam Deck. It's just kind of, Windows has never been a good experience on a handheld. It's just kind of how it is. Maybe they'll fix that. You know what?
Yeah,
Maybe they'll fix that with this Xbox console, this Xbox handheld. Maybe
this
they'll
Xbox,
actually make Windows good. Because I think it's going to be Windows based. But
this newest one, yeah, I think it is going to be Windows based. I think that's what they're trying to do. Like you said, they're trying to ease into it. They're
yeah,
trying to make a transition into like this is their way. I honestly do think it's low effort to some extent for what they have going for here, but I think this is like them trying to, how would you say it, dip their toes in the water and see exactly like
yeah,
if this is the direction they should take.
yeah. It's a stepping stone for sure. It's not the final product, and that's
Would
pretty clear.
I Well, I think the next question is would I get the newest Xbox? Uh Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh
we'll have to wait
you
and
gotta
see what it looks like.
you gotta give me a good concrete reason why I should buy this console instead of playing on this one. You gotta give me a good reason. Like, oh, it's got Modern Warfare 4 and it's not available on the Series X and S consoles, or it's not available on last gen hardware. Because that's what COD 2026 is gonna be. It's gonna be only next gen.
Yeah,
Now, Xbox is going to have another next gen console next year. Does that mean it's only going to be
supposedly.
available for that console, or is it going to be available on the PS5 or
Didn't they
what
say they're
exactly?
gonna make COD for last gen consoles still?
N- uh, n- so this year with Call of Duty 2025, it's going to come out on PS4 and Xbox One, and this will be the last time. It'll be the last one. Right now, at least, Infinity Ward at the moment, they are developing their next Modern Warfare title on this newest Xbox. That's where all the leaks came from. Of course, COD. Why wouldn't it be COD? It's always COD, but
Yeah,
it's just something that we'll have to wait and see. And I do think that they're not going to. I really don't think that it's going to come out on last gen hardware, especially in 2026. In my definition of last gen hardware, is the PS4 and Xbox One era.
yeah. Honestly, the Switch kind of fits in there too, even though it's what we're dealing with
Well,
today.
it well it with the newest Switch coming out this year, because I'm almost certain it's going to come out this year.
Yeah. They have a
I'm,
Nintendo
I'm
event
sure,
coming up in like a few weeks or something.
and like a month after, I wouldn't be surprised if the console actually releases, because that's what they did for the Nintendo Switch all the way back in 2017. But
Yeah.
they revealed it in January. They had some type of event where you could have your hands on it and play it, and then I believe it came out in March. I think March, April. I'm trying to remember, but it was a runaway success. It only came out like a month or two afterwards after they revealed it, and it blew up. It was apparently, from what I know, aren't they? Didn't they bulk up in terms of stock quantity or something like that, or like they were prepping for this, or was that no? I think that was AMD's graphics cards that
Yeah.
they were doing.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that for some reason,
They
but
still sold out, by the way.
if
Like
COD
in the first day.
comes out on the Switch, you bet your rear end I'm buying a Switch.
Yeah.
I'll give my mom my OLED.
This okay, so with the Switch 2, they got to give, us first person, third person shooter gamers a reason
AAA
to play on
games,
it. Yeah.
60 FPS is the new standard.
Yeah.
That's the first. That's like Nintendo, they gotta with their open world games. Look, Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time, of course. 30 FPS is just it's playable, but we just need 60 at this rate. With everything, it's just makes my eyes bleed looking at it whenever it's at 30 FPS. Your eyes get used to it and everything, but it just comes to show that Nintendo really does need to make they need to, well, they are doing it, of course. They're upgrading their hardware essentially, and that's what the Switch 2 is.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty big upgrade, even though it only has 12 gigs of RAM. Isn't that
okay, so
terrible?
what's the deal with, well, my computer, well, I say that and my computer has 32 gigs of RAM, but
Yeah. I think 16 ought to be the minimum.
3600, what was it? I think it's clocked at 3600 megahertz or something like that, or whatever the actual, it's not megahertz, it's called
Mega
something else. I
transfers per
forgot.
second. Yeah.
Mega transfers per second. That's what it was. Yeah, thank you. But I think it's actually mine's at 5600 or something or whatever it is. I don't remember what setting it is. I would have to check, but I don't know. Um, enough flexing. Sorry. But
Yeah, my PC's this.
yeah, I'm running a bargain build, by the way.
Yeah, just top spec hardware. That's all. Bargain build. This is the next thing I have to show. It's a Mark Rober video. I'm not gonna show actual footage because that's not what I'm gonna do. But I just want to talk briefly about Tesla and what he said. So let me change over again. Here we go. Just so you can kind of see
Can you
what this
fool
is.
a self-driving car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this video is kind of cool. He uh, he does like the thing where you have a road and then you do a fake painting of a road on a wall. And then he sees if the car drives into the wall. And he does a bunch of other tests. He
Doesn't it have don't cars have depth perception at all or no?
um
Don't
okay,
some of
with
them do?
Tesla
Some
I
of them?
think it's all cameras. With other cars they use lidar, which is he talks about it a lot in this video. It's basically lasers and it shoots the lasers out and it
It's
actually has
lasers.
depth perception, that
Shoots
sort of thing.
lasers.
But he goes to Disneyland in this video, which is kind of cool. He gets a scan of Space Mountain. There. That's what Space Mountain
You
looks
know,
like on the
space.
inside.
Speaking of Space Mountain, real quick, Space Mountain with the lights on is horrifying
Yeah, that's what it would look kind of
because
like without the lights off.
you would you would feel like you're about to lose your head because the bar is like right here.
Yeah, that's why they say don't put your hands up. Take your fingers off.
I always I always put my hands up.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I don't.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's see. He compares his Model Y to a Lexus that has a lidar sensor on the top. And he uses autopilot, notably autopilot. That's what he said in the video. I don't actually know if he's using autopilot or full self-driving, but they're not the same thing. FSD is the most recent, most like you press a button and it takes you to wherever you want to go, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Autopilot is like it keeps you in the lane and that's it. It brakes. It's like lane keep assist and adaptive cruise. That's all autopilot is. So he wasn't. I don't know if he was using FSD, but it sounds like he wasn't, and that's not as fair of a test. He just didn't. I don't know. Think about it or something, or I don't know. You have to pay for FSD, so I'm not sure what the heck was going on there. Anyway, um, So Tesla, this kind of comes at a time when Tesla's going through a lot. They have had a lot of protesters.
Was this to throw shade at Tesla or what?
I I didn't
Or was this
really get
actually
that
just
impression. It was
this was
biased, I think, but I
oh, it was? Or
yeah, I think it was biased, but I don't. It didn't give me the impression that they were trying to slam Tesla or anything or
or
discourage people
slander or
from
anything
buying.
like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
So
give me context for what's been happening with Tesla exactly? Because I have
yes,
no idea. I haven't
Elon
kept up with
Musk.
news or anything.
Yeah, Elon Musk is the head at Doge, and most people know this now. He's Trump all the way for the most part. And so Democrats have seen that, and they don't like that. They don't like that he's got his fingers in the government. They think he's getting rid of programs that are necessary, or that he's
That are deemed to be
pocketing.
necessary.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's
And
it seems like they
I
think
don't,
he's probably pocketing some money or using this to take control of the government or getting some special favors from the government for his companies. I don't really know.
yeah.
Um, I haven't seen any evidence of that, of any of that happening, but um, people can make their own judgments. So what they've been doing is they've been boycotting and protesting at Tesla dealerships, um, and a lot of those protests have been less than peaceful. You've had people burn down cars, shoot up dealerships, um, basically just destroying property. They've been tagged. They've been painting Nazi symbols on the cars and whatever
Oh,
swastikas.
so what do you call it? It's not terrorism. Well, I guess it is terrorism, but what do you call it? There's another term for it. I don't remember what it's called,
Yeah,
but
I
it's a
don't know.
specific word that my mind is so fried tonight. I'm sorry. I don't have that much energy or
Yeah,
input I can give, but
it's that time of the
uh
day.
what's that word called? Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
It's just hate crimes, I guess. Is that what it is? Just
no,
something like that? No, it's not hate crimes. No, hate crimes is it's that's different.
I don't know. I can't think of it. They're also like vandalizing just normal people's cars.
Which is kind of ironic because, this is the guy who is developing eco-friendly cars
Yeah,
and everything
EVs. They went from really in favor of EVs to really against them in
to
overnight.
now making swastikas and everything.
Yeah, they're
This
yeah.
is kind of
Well, they're saying
childish,
that
I would
Elon
say.
Musk is Hitler or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's why they draw the swastikas on the vehicles? Is
Yeah.
that why?
Yeah.
What kind of logic is that?
I don't understand it really.
Like,
They
okay, if
saw him
okay,
do the salute, I guess, and they thought he was Hitler.
when there's been so many other,
Yeah.
both Republican and Democratic candidates
Yeah.
that have done the exact same thing
Well, and I think it was pretty clear that he was doing it
that
out of
wasn't
good
his
faith. It wasn't
intention.
something that he meant to do. It was more of an
Like,
accident.
my heart goes out to you
Yeah.
guys,
he
essentially.
he kind of
Well,
raised his arm just a little bit too high there. And he
you
did it
gotta,
several times, but I'm not going to stand up for what happened then. It's just like, yeah, I could see that going either way, being
I
something
don't
that's
think,
just inconsequential or something that
I,
actually
I,
means
I
something.
really,
But the point is, none of his
I don't,
other actions have indicated that he's a Nazi. So I don't know.
they're the real Nazis, Mercedes, Benz, and BMW. Oh, Volkswagen. Sorry,
Volkswagen, yeah, those
Volks,
German car
Volkswagen.
companies.
Yeah,
Volkswagen.
they're always so proud of their heritage and history, yet they don't talk about what happened between 1930, was it 39 to 45? They don't talk about what happens during those years. No, 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 no,
No.
no. There was some bad guy
Oh,
in
what's funny
Germany
is
or something.
a lot of these Democrats are flocking to Volkswagen because they're making the new ID Buzz, which is another electric vehicle. So
I'm
I
sorry. The electric vehicles are just ugly. The
yeah,
only good looking ones are the Teslas, and that was the biggest
they're
standout,
getting more
especially
and more good looking too, in my opinion. I think that the new Model 3 and the new Model Y look amazing. And I think the
that
Cybercab's
Nissan.
really cool too.
Pull up a picture of if you can, please, the Nissan Leaf. That's oh my gosh. We were talking about this before we started.
Ew.
No, 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 not
This
that
one's
one.
not
The
too
one with
bad
the
actually.
That's not too bad, but I'm talking about the one where the headlights are herniated.
uh,
That's the looker, isn't it?
oh yeah. Okay, so this one's really ugly, but they
Oh
are
my
actually really
gosh.
good practical cars if you're just living in the city,
Yeah,
and
but
they're
that's the
cheap.
whole point of it's just to keep you in the city, and that's about it.
Yeah,
They really want to subsidize this and make it to where you don't want to travel anywhere, even outside of the city or the state. That's the motivation I'm getting from it.
yeah. The thing is, one of the reasons I wanted to talk about Tesla was they have, okay, so I'll also look up, like, the Cybercab because I think it looks cool. Um, like,
See,
they're
I
trying a
wish
lot
that
with their
had a
style.
steering wheel. I actually do.
Yeah,
That's a really because you know what that reminds me of? It looks like
a
kind of like the
DeLorean.
Model S Roadster DeLorean. Yeah, kind of. That's what it reminds me
Yeah.
of. But can I get a model of that, but with the steering wheel or something? That'd be cool.
Well, I mean, if you look, they've got a Model Y, uh,
Yeah, but it
the
doesn't
new
look
Model Y.
exactly like that, though, no?
No, but it's close enough. Similar. Um,
Kind of.
similar light bar in the front. But I've been watching videos on YouTube. They're just like long form videos. Uh, just somebody has the camera on top of their head and they press one button and the car drives them all over the place. And it's not like, oh, this is super easy driving. No, 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 no. FSD is super capable. Like they've had it like driving to Disneyland, you know how that is, right?
It's chaos.
It's awful. It's like the
The
worst
rest,
driving you could
hey,
ever do.
well, you got to go through Los Angeles and through,
Yeah,
that horrible traffic,
it's
and it's
horrible.
just chaotic. You make a wrong turn, and then, oh, well, how am I going to get back on the freeway?
Right, exactly. Um, the FSD
Or,
was
you
they
know,
had it going through stuff like that. It was like the worst of the worst driving, and it's so unbelievably confident in all of the moves it makes, and it does everything right. Um, so I've just been extremely impressed by not only how well it handles these crazy situations, but also like they have it park in some parking spots that are like super tight. Like you would never park in these parking spots.
well, don't some of those cars, like, what was it? Like the 2020 Hyundais onwards,
Yeah,
especially, they have that fob key feature where you get out of your car and then you push a button on the fob and it automatically parks into the parking spot. And when you come back out to your car,
yeah,
you can have that car pull out for
yeah,
you and then you can load your stuff in the trunk and then
yeah.
be on your merry way because, you know,
You can't open
look,
the
if you're,
doors.
yeah, you can't open the doors because you're overweight, which, I mean,
Or it's just
especially
too
for
tight, you
Americans,
know.
or it's just too tight, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, there is a third way actually of dealing with like the traffic going to Disneyland. You want to know what that way is?
Right.
Not going.
That's true. But I mean, like, if you had to go to LA for some to pick up something or to,
For some
or you had to
reason,
go
I
through
don't know
LA.
why. There is nothing. It is hopeless there. There
I,
is nothing there.
yes, every single time I would pick a cybercab. Every time. I would never want to drive. I never want to drive through the LA area ever again. I've done it 3 or 4, maybe 5 times, and I hate it with passion. It's like the worst driving you could ever do. It's the opposite of fun. It's depressing and awful, and it's exhausting. Um, so I think I would choose this every time. Uh, I've also been like I've been kind of thinking about like the implications of what you could do with this. Like my brother goes to right, uh, and it's a big drive for us to get there.
Do you have to charge it yourself though?
Yeah, you can charge. I mean, this specific one has like a like how you can set your iPhone on a pad and it'll charge.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Oh, does it have solar panels or something like that? It'll automatically be charging.
It'll drive over a pad and then it'll charge off of your wall or whatever. So there's a cord running from your wall to the pad and it drives over the pad and charges wirelessly.
Interesting.
Um, so I could see sending this car to pick up my brother and with nobody in it and it driving back home with him in it being ideal. Like, and for old people, like when you get to a point when you're older where you just can't drive anymore, whether it's because of your
Yeah, but
vision.
driving's fun though. I mean, but
Well,
yeah, like
yeah,
you said,
yeah.
especially when as you get older and everything.
But I mean, driving is fun, but like there are plenty of applications where either you can't drive or you really, really don't want to drive. Like when I couldn't see when I was at work because I had a migraine, I would have just been stuck there if my dad wasn't nearby. So
Call one of those for the low price of $50,000.
yeah, I mean, you just own the car and have it come pick you up, and you get in the car and it drives you home.
Now, what if it gets into an accident? Who's paying for the insurance then? Because no one was in the car.
Probably you. I mean, if it causes the accident, they have
Yes.
cameras too all over them, so like they can keep track of what happens. Like
Yeah, I
if somebody
suppose.
crashes into it, you're gonna know who crashed into it.
Yeah. As that
Um,
voice cracked again. Jeez.
so I can really see a lot of applications for owning one of these, especially if like
Bye bye Uber. Bye
it.
bye taxi.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and it's
We
like
don't need you anymore.
if I had to go like drop off my car at the shop to get work done on it, like oil change and whatever. It
Which
takes
I
two
don't know
people
why
to
you
do
would
that
do that.
usually, right? Because you need
No, you
unless you
can do
call
it yourself.
unless you call an Uber or you
You could
wait.
easily do it yourself. Just go down to AutoZone and tell them your make and model, and then they'll get you all the parts needed to do an oil change.
Well, that's doing it yourself.
Well, yeah, doing it
But I
yourself
mean,
is the
if you
best
have
part.
more work to do that actually requires a professional, and you take your car to the shop, you have to leave your car there.
Well,
So you drive your
yeah.
car there. What do you do? Yeah, you can't leave.
Lots of trouble, usually serious, Lotus.
Lotus. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I mean, that's usually a two-person job to drop off a car at a shop.
It is, yeah. What was it?
So
I
in this
remember one
case,
morning.
you drive your car to the shop, and then you have this one follow you, and you just ride this one home. Or when you
Yeah,
need to
it's
pick
good.
up your car, you have it drive you there, and you say, "Okay, go back home. Meet me at home." Like there are plenty of reasons, and like, ooh, this was a good one. You never pay for parking again. You know how when you go like downtown or whatever, and you have to pay to park in those parking structures and stuff. You never have to do that again because you just have it drop you off where you want to go, and then it parks somewhere that's free, and then you have it come pick you up later.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good.
I can see, or like maybe I want something from Micro Center, and Micro Center's like 5 hours away. I just send my car to go pick it up for me while I'm doing other junk. And they put the box in the car, and I pay them, and it ships the thing to me. Couldn't that be
Well, I don't
awesome?
under- well, wouldn't they just have it? Wouldn't they just use one of their own cars like that to ship it to you then?
Sure, why not? Could do it either way.
Bye bye, UPS drivers.
Yeah, I
Bye
mean,
bye, FedEx drivers. No more six-figure salary for you guys.
buy one of these, buy an Optimus robot. The Optimus robot gets out of the car, gets your package, and gets back in, and it drives the robot home with the junk that you want. You never have to meet with Craigslist people again.
Oh gosh. Jeez. No.
uh,
No, 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 no. I'm good.
just send your robot to your bidding. Anyway, I've thought all about the self-driving. I think it's almost to the point where it's more safe than humans on the road. It's like very close. Um, Usually people when they do those Tesla self-driving videos, they have to interact like maybe once to make sure that it's on the right track. But a lot of the time, it just does its thing.
So when are we gonna start calling these things droids?
Yeah, that's basically what they are. They're robot on wheels. Droid.
Because at this rate, whenever I pay for a service and they send one of those, I'm gonna act like the Mandalorian and be like, "No droids."
uh,
No droids.
Droid, take me to the target. I want to buy an ice cream. Uh, yeah. Um, so that's it for that. I only have one more thing to talk about. Um, that would be this. This is politics,
Oh,
kind
real
of.
quick, before you do that, that reminded me of there was I don't know if you saw it, but there was a AI video that I saw where these two forms of artificial intelligence, like chatbots, they interacted with one another and they both spoke in a different, like,
Beep
a
boop boop
different
beep boop
like,
boop beep boop.
yeah, it was horrifying. It
Yeah,
scared me.
I've
Like,
seen that.
I,
They're
let's
like,
see it.
"Oh, I see you're an AI. Would you like to switch to this form of talking for
This
higher
language model,
efficiency?" And then they go beep boop boop beep boop
it's
beep boop.
called Gibberlink.
Yeah, Gibberlink. Yeah.
This thing scares me. It actually does. This is Terminator type stuff. This
Yeah.
is straight up Terminator.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
That's Terminator. That's straight up. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It is pretty scary.
It's scary, dude.
It's a luxury that they translate for us. How fast it's going.
What did the comments say? Let's keep talking in private. Beep, beep, beep. This is going to be the scariest sound you'll hear when they're looking for you. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Dude. That's crazy.
Why do I suddenly see my grandson in the year 2100 lying old in bed getting PTSD flashbacks when he hears that sound because he fought in the great AI robot war?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Modem. I speak modem. It's straight up Terminator. That's exactly what this is. This is Terminator
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I don't know.
Anyways, I thought I would put that out there.
Yeah.
That reminded me of that video for some reason.
I mean,
It's spooky. I don't like that, and I'm smiling because of it. I usually smile whenever I'm uncomfortable about that stuff.
uh my thinking is, where can I get one of those AI agents? I want them to make plans for me, so I don't have to call all the make all the robocalls.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Horrifying. I Ugh. No.
Beep boop
No.
boop beep boop boop.
Well, the thing is, you know, on whenever you call some of those, like, what do you call it? Manufacturing companies, especially for the products that they sell and make for you, and they have like the automated voice messaging
Mm-hmm.
system, like the automated like voice chat,
Yeah.
where please describe the problem very carefully. That is just a nightmare. And it's
Yeah.
like I just want to talk to somebody about
I
just give
want
me
to
the
speak to a
illustrated
person.
I know. Give me the illustrated parts list of or the with the torque specs to put on a crankcase, and that's about it. Because I was trying to do that with Briggs and Stratton, and they had an automated like voice messaging system, and it was the worst thing ever. I was actually getting salty, and I'm getting salty thinking about it right now too. But anyways, somehow managed to. I called this guy twice, and he sent me to that stupid system, and I'm like,
mm,
dude. You're not helping me. You're just sending me to something that is dead space, essentially.
wow.
And the guy just, well, I can't help you with that because you'd have to go to a Briggs and Stratton dealer. Whatever, fine. I'll do it myself. I'll do 75 foot-pounds, call it a day. That's
Yeah.
what I did. And it seems to
Mm-hmm.
be working just fine. Haven't ran into any issues ever since. So,
75 foot-pounds. Take it or leave it.
75, 80, that's usually for those types of engines, I would say is the right amount.
Yeah.
But anywho, I'll stop ranting and
No, that
yapping.
was interesting. Yeah. So this is the last thing.
It's horrifying,
Have you
though.
seen
It
this?
really is.
Impressed by
Oh, speaking of Trump,
President, walk us through the tariffs.
Mr. President. Obviously,
yeah, with the boom mic.
you're concerned about the situation.
He
in
had the
Gaza.
new
What
face
are the
he
hopes
made.
now
His
to get the
face.
hostages back?
She just became a big story tonight, right? Yes, sir. Did you see that?
I'm sure it was an accident. He didn't.
Yeah.
The situation.
That was pretty funny. That's all I had for politics this week. Trump getting smacked in the face with a boom mic.
Did you know he smack talked the ISIS leader? After he killed him.
Oh, did he do that again?
Yeah, he did. He smack talked the newest ISIS leader that he took down.
Oh, joy.
I'm trying to find it. Let me see.
Yeah. He he died like a dog. He was crying like a baby.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. We're gonna use the power of AI because I can't find the official source by the looks of it. But if you tune into my stream here,
Certainly, certainly.
Trump says ISIS leader's life terminated. On March 15th, 2025, President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that the leader of ISIS, known as I'm not even going to pronounce that last name, has been killed. Trump stated his miserable life was terminated, along with another member of ISIS, in coordination with the Iraqi government and Kurdish regional government.
Wow.
He has such a way with his words. He
I
really
know.
does. I think it's funny. I really do, because this reminded me of the time when he killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Yeah.
He died like a dog.
Abu Bakr
I wouldn't have
al-Baghdadi.
cried. I wouldn't have cried.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Sky News. Sky News Australia. let's see if let me see. I don't know if they made a statement on it. They did talk about it.
Yeah, his statement was on. I think you got it mostly on Truth Social. I don't think he had a video or anything. Yeah,
Yeah, he did say it on True Social though, I will say. But
pretty funny.
I don't
Lots
know
of
if you
funny
can find
things happening.
the tweet or whatever, but yeah.
I guess
I thought
they did get like ceasefire negotiations going with Russia, so they're talking about that.
they are making progress there, I will say. When he said I would end that war within 24 hours, I mean, you got to start somewhere in order to end it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and it's been a little
I,
bumpy.
well, hey, at least he's trying to, actually
Yeah,
start a
rein it
ceasefire.
in. Yeah.
What was it? There was something else that I saw in relation to Donald Trump. There was like some pasture, I guess, a couple months back before his assassination. I saw it on a YouTube short. I don't know if I can find it, but he said, I was dreaming and I saw the assassination attempt where the bullet went by Trump's ear. It was basically a deja vu for him, essentially.
Wow.
And on top of that, he won the election.
Mhm.
That turned out to be true. And then on top of that, within this year and next year, we're about to face one of the worst, uh, like economic downturns possible,
Yeah.
according to this past year. Which I mean, hey, look, say what you will about prior presidents who inherit other presidents' economies, and the presidents before that, and the presidents
Yeah.
before that. Everybody likes to blame one another, but I honestly would like to say that this especially happened, if I'm not mistaken, during the Reagan era when he first got elected president, especially from 1980 to 1982. It was just pure chaos. And it just took time for it to get under control. Like, yeah, I'm almost certain we're going to go through like one of the worst economic crises within this
Yeah.
year or next
The
year.
stock
I'm almost
market might
certain of
have
it.
some trouble.
We might crash. We actually might crash. We might face another economic depression. I don't know,
Here's what
but
I see.
yeah,
Um, I see that Trump has a plan. He's doing an economic
I got a
reset.
plan, Dutch. I got a
Yeah.
plan. You always got a plan, Dutch. You
His
always
plan
do.
is extremely radical and drastic on the economic front. His tariffs
Well,
and that
he's
sort
got
of
the plan.
thing are like we're actually trying to get a lot of stuff done in a very short period of time. And what he doesn't care about the stock market. Uh,
Well, I don't know why. There's this perception, especially that even a lot of, economic experts, they say, yeah, don't rely on the stock market
yeah,
to determine whether or not the economy is doing good or bad.
right.
And yeah, even if like you look on the stock market for today and everything's red, it's only a matter of time before it goes back up. I mean, that's normal, I would say.
Yeah, the
But
stock market fluctuates, but it goes up generally.
I mean, will there be another stock market crash? I don't know if we would.
I
I'm
think
almost certain
it's likely because
it is likely. Yeah.
his plan is so drastic, but I think we'll see a very strong recovery toward the end of his presidency.
Yeah,
Probably.
and there was that, and I don't know if he did actually. I heard talks about him in regards to his new tax code or whatever it is, or tax cuts or whatever it is, basically getting rid of income tax. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And and that was the whole point of his tariffs to begin with, was to basically get rid of income tax. I mean, if you get rid of income tax, I mean, that'd be nice, more money in your pocket, I would
Yeah.
say. Means more spending, more money. Why aren't you consuming? America's a consuming culture and not a producing one anymore. But
Yeah.
we need to go back to producing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how everything pans out, but I am pretty sure we'll see something like a recession. We'll probably see a strong recovery, but I think it's going to be all for the embetterment of the economy to make sure that everything's functioning at peak
Well,
efficiency.
what I do know is that right now, at least, I wonder what the current APR rate is for cars at the moment. I think last time it was at like 7.9, 7.8%. I don't remember what it was, but what I do know, of course, even if you're taking out a loan to buy a car, right now it's just awful to buy a car. The car market is a disaster, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to get even worse. Like, what was it? Nobody wants to pay $90,000 for a brand new truck. Nobody does. Absolutely no one in their right mind would, and you would have to make more money than you could possibly ever imagine to buy a brand new truck. Like, I would love to have a nice V8 or a nice diesel truck, especially
Yeah.
like one of those Chevrolet V8 trucks or the GMC AT4s. I don't know if you've seen those, but those are
Yeah.
some nice trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I I would love to have a truck like that. I absolutely
Those
would.
are
I would
luxury.
love such that it'd be such a it's probably like heaven, especially you get heated seats, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You get to haul your
You know what?
Airstream
I'm
trailer
getting on
around.
the
It's
Tesla hype
so
train now.
nice.
I want a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty
Well,
good now, and you can get bright white interior, and that's like,
it gets dirty though. For me at least, it's not suited for me, I would say.
yeah.
Seats get way too dirty too quick.
But I mean, I hate black interior. It just gets too hot.
Well, I hate black interior too. That's why you do like the tan interior.
Yeah, tan's nice, but dude, the white looks so nice.
Well,
It
I'm
looks
sure it
so
does, but
nice. Oh, yeah. Trucks are overpriced. Um, Teslas are expensive.
most cars nowadays, even used ones, are
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah,
You can't it's so difficult that especially at this day and age to I mean, I would like to save up enough money to just buy a car out the door outright because
yeah,
I feel like that would be more rewarding than having to make car payments on it.
yeah.
But yeah, it just yeah.
Trump is trying to tank the interest rates. Did you know that? So
What's his do you have an idea exactly what his plan is in regards to that? If you don't, it's all right.
he says people don't get rich if they can't borrow money.
I mean,
And he also wants to pay off the debt, it sounds like. He's tanking the interest rates to get the debt interest rate decreased or something cuz it's going to get reevaluated or something,
it's already over a
refinanced.
trillion, I think.
Yeah, I think the debt's going to get refinanced or something, and he's hoping that he can get the interest rates to tank, even if that means taking down the stock market several pegs, so that we can pay off the debt more easily. If we pay off the debt, the national debt, can you imagine how big that's going to be?
It would be
How much
great.
better
Or
for our
even if
country that would be?
well, even if it were to, what is it? Our, I don't know what it's called. I completely forgot. Growth domestic product. I think that's what it is.
Gross
Isn't it
domestic
close?
domestic product, GDP,
Yeah,
gross
but I don't
domestic
know if that
product.
has any. I sucked at economics class. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I did not care. I didn't give a flying.
Yeah,
I didn't give a flying care in the world to do that. But
yeah,
uh, I mean, what is it at? Like 33 trillion for us or something like that? I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm no economist. I really all I know is that I hear one group of people say, "Oh, I trust his economic plan and his economic policies," and then there's another group that are like, "Well, the economic experts say that it's actually a horrible idea with what he's doing, and it's just messing everything up." And then that same group of people were basically
Wrong
riding
on
the
everything.
bandwagon with Biden and everything. To me, it's just all biased nonsense. Okay, let's
Yeah.
just try and see if it works. If it doesn't, all right, then because the way with how he's handling it, if it doesn't work, then all right, let me change it again. Because what
Yeah.
I do know is that for him, at least in regards to the tariffs, he held back a month, another month, for the high tariffs on Canada and Mexico, especially. And I know a lot of people, for some reason, think that why is America doing this? And they're basically destroying all the other countries that surround our nation and everything. But those other countries had high tariffs on us to begin with. It just doesn't make that much sense to me.
Yeah.
And suddenly, when we start,
We're getting ripped off, okay?
well, yeah, and now when we actually take matters into our own hands, suddenly we're the bad guys. And honestly, I would much rather have us be the bad guys because, yeah, you guys are just bullying us and taking stuff away from us when it
Yeah.
should be back here. That's what
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
And okay, if it's made in America, I probably would actually buy more products made in the United States than other countries because yeah, there is something that
There's
you get
it's
it's a
pride,
nice
but it's
feeling.
also like a higher standard of quality generally.
Yeah, and you know that okay, someone actually put their heart and soul into this, and I'm not saying, people from other nations don't do that,
Yeah.
but
There's no
they were
guarantee in
actually
other nations that people aren't being
paid
taken advantage of.
paid fair wages
Yeah.
and actually, taken care of course, by their employers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd be more likely to buy that. And if the high tariffs and everything basically gets rid of, income tax, then yeah, of course I'm gonna buy the products made in America. You know, what was it? This is the last thing that I gotta say. Harbor Freight is say what you will about Harbor Freight, with their motto and everything, of course, quality tools, lowest prices. The reason why the tools are, low in terms of prices in comparison to the other ones is because they outsource a lot of the work to China and Taiwan and other, Eastern European nations, especially. And like I'm not saying Harbor Freight is bad or anything with the quality that they have. It's good. There's some decent stuff that you can get from that store. But the thing is, the reason why they're able to have, I think it's like over 500 stores that they have open now. Why they're able to open up so many is because of that. But this comes in, in with Trump's high tariffs in for China and Taiwan and all the other nations Eastern European nations. It it can start to, how would you say it, I guess, put a huge strain on, for a company like Harbor Freight. And they're less likely to open stores, and stores may start closing afterwards. And I mean, speaking of stores closing, there's already a bunch of stores that are closing around us, especially in town here, at least. What was it? Party City. I mean, that's closing. That's
Yeah.
surprising. They somehow survived COVID. How on earth did they survive COVID? Chuck E. Cheese. I think they filed for like Chapter 11 bankruptcy or something like that, or Chapter 7. I'm trying to remember which one. Red Lobster
Joanne's.
did that too. Yeah, Joanne's is closing too, and Joanne's has been open for years, like
Yeah.
decades,
Yeah, they've been
which
in
is
here for a long time.
crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just I don't know how GameStop is still open by some shred of the imagination. I don't know how they're still
Reddit
open.
is the answer to that question.
Well, yes, Reddit, of course, and they basically saved GameStop, but I mean, I would say there's a lot of risk and reward that goes into play with this, and I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to wanting, a president, they want someone who is willing to make a high risk and have a high reward because we look, say what you will about some of the previous presidents prior to Donald Trump and Joe Biden, but the risks they took apparently had really bad, uh payouts, especially for America. The war in the Middle East after the 9/11 attacks. You had Obama, of course, sending in drone strikes and frickin' blowing up hospitals, of course.
Yeah.
And I mean, I rarely hear people talk about that nowadays. I rarely hear people talk about that. All they now talk about is, and I get it, of course, the present. It's what's happening right now, and our future kind of depends on it. But we gotta, look a little bit, a couple decades back, and see exactly what happened for why we're here now. I I don't know. I'm just yapping and ranting on, and it's just, I guess, one of those things that it's nothing that really we can do, I would say, especially. You know, I don't know if you hear it a lot, but I hear it especially at work and everything. Uh, a lot of, the older generation, whenever I help them out and everything, they're like, for some reason, they like to blame us for the world's problems. And I think to myself, dude, I'm 20. What on earth have I done
Mm-hmm.
to make a substantial impact on the world? You guys are the boomers. You guys were born after World War II. What are you on about?
Yeah.
Even prior to the boomers too, but uh for some reason we're the ones to blame for why, so much is wrong within this world, especially when it comes to, economic, especially for the economy. And I mean, well, it's like, yeah, of course, back then you guys were able to buy a house and everything. You could work a 40-hour work week and buy a house within a few years. Like, yeah, no, duh. But for us, it's like we're breaking our backs, I would say. For me, at least, well, look, I know with like the current job status that I have at the moment, I know that I would never be able to afford a house like that. That's why, you got to move up in the world and everything. You got to make an effort. But it's such a poor excuse to throw out that we're the ones to blame for a lot of the world's problems. You could say, culturally speaking, I would like to argue that, yeah, for us at least, our generation, I would say, is probably the softest, and we're more subject to, what's the best way of putting it? I guess having our emotions like targeted, and a lot of our arguments are emotional nowadays, and a lot of it has to do with like what feels right and what feels wrong. There's no real morals behind it or anything
Yeah.
like that, and the morals really have no like true definition or principle or anything, or based off of, an actual, text like the Bible, for example. There's no, it's just, it's nonsense, and this is all coming from politics, of course. It gets like we're going down the rabbit hole at this point, but I
Well, I
it's
have
just,
heard the argument that the job market is saturated because women have joined the workforce. You think there's anything to that?
well, I mean, haven't women joined the workforce since like the early 1930s, 1940s, though?
Yeah, but previously women were mostly stay-at-home moms. Like even if they did work during the wars, usually they would just
Well,
stay at home after, like up
even then,
until like the
yeah.
the 90s really. Women were mostly stay-at-home moms.
Well, look, and I'm not thinking that women shouldn't be able to work at all. Look, more power to you. If you want to go out there and do something and work, I'm all for it. Go on ahead. I think you ought to. You never know exactly what you're truly capable of unless you do it.
Mhm.
I think you should do that. I absolutely do. But I do think, however, that to some extent, there are just certain jobs that for each, gender role, it's just, for men at least, we're just by design, biologically speaking, we're just a lot more capable of handling, tasks that are just in such high demand, like physical work. Like our bodies are able to take that more than women. It's just part of biology.
Yeah.
And that's why you see
Men
a
are
lot of men,
stronger on average than women.
yeah, that's why you see a lot of men do a lot more tangible things instead of, sitting on the desk and working at the computer. There's nothing wrong with that. There absolutely isn't. And there's a
Or
lot of men
teaching
that
kids.
do that.
Women are
You
better at
get a lot
teaching
of
too.
Reddit modern. I would say women are definitely in regards to that. But I
Although I've preferred several of my male teachers.
well, some of the male teachers I would say are well, I've had what was it? He was my fifth and sixth
They're
grade male
probably
teacher.
there
He
because
was
they're
great.
especially good, or
Yeah.
they have a passion that stands out.
But I,
These
I think
pretzels
it's
are
just
delicious.
yeah, I bet they are. I think I have an idea of what those are. Those look good. Um, I think it's underwhelming to hear a lot of, the older generation say, "Oh, you guys are basically screwed." Haha. And it's like, "Yeah, thanks for setting us up for
Failure.
not having a bright future.
Yeah.
Thanks. How wonderful of you." And I know their parents and their grandparents absolutely struggled during that time. Yeah, it was miserable. Our lives are a lot better than what it was for
Oh
them
yeah.
back then. Absolutely. But at the same time, with like the current standards at least, you just think to yourself, okay, how on earth am I going to be able to pay off a 30-year mortgage? How? How am I going to do that exactly? Well, I mean, follow baby steps,
Make
Dave
good
Ramsey's
financial
baby steps
decisions.
that make good financial decisions, of course. Don't bet on, sporting events, that type of thing, that type
Save
of
your money.
nonsense. But ah,
Yeah. Don't buy a Steam Deck every 5 months.
okay. Don't no need to throw shade at me. It was a year. I think it was a year.
mm,
What was it? I got it in 23, I think, or 24, somewhere around there. Yeah, it was 2023. I'm pretty sure it was 2023. That's when I got it.
okay.
And then I got it a year later. I'm not helping my case, aren't I?
Mm-mm.
Hey, my girlfriend got it, so in the end,
That's fair. That's a good reason.
yeah. But
Wasn't
and then
selfish
you could, well,
entirely.
well, I know
Just mostly selfish.
it was mostly selfish, but I told her, I said, look, I want this, and you can have this
Yeah.
in return. And I didn't cheap out when I gave her my Steam Deck. Like, I didn't leave a crummy, crappy. It was basically brand new.
Yeah.
Like, I usually take care of most of my stuff. I like to keep my stuff in such high, pristine condition
Mint condition, yeah.
as I throw up gang signs. But,
I'm ready to end. How about you?
oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm done yapping. Sorry. I went on for like 20 minutes straight
I
talking
gotta
about,
go to the
oh,
bathroom.
economy sucks. All right. Well, I will end us off here.
Yep.
I'll end the podcast here. So thank you to our wonderful listeners who have decided to listen to us talk about stuff for the past 90 minutes. Hopefully Logan's gameplay was enough to suffice you guys. I thought it was interesting to look at it, him, using the cactus to snipe people and everything. But uh, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoy the rest of your week or whatever day you're going to watch this. My name is Nelson, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host Logan. All right. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.